The making of Heartstopper.
My name's Roslyn and I'm the director of Heartstopper.
I'm Patrick Walters and I'm an executive producer of Heartstopper.
I think once I'd met the characters in the comics and in the scripts, I had such high hopes and real great expectations of who the actors would be to play them. And we wanted to find a cast that was truly diverse, that represented the characters authentically.
Casting Heartstopper authentically was the absolute priority. It was the only way we could have ever done it. The spirit of the piece is all about making people who don't feel seen. So in terms of actors embodying the roles, you know, a character like Elle, there's only one way you can cast that character, and that extends across all of the parts in that we've found someone who has an essence of that character in them.
When you tell a story, as a director, you're not by yourself. You rely on a huge team of designers, of photographers, of makeup, hair, loads of people. And I wanted as many of those people as possible to be from the LGBTQ+ communities, so they could bring their experiences and identify the bits of the story that can only be from an LGBTQ perspective.
I'm Jeffrey Ingold, and I was the LGBT consultant on the Netflix production of Heartstopper. Being involved in something like Heartstopper for me and for a charity like Stonewall is important because we can help give a more authentic view of the context in which the show is happening, so it doesn't feel like this is, you know, a drama that's happening over here. It is based in the reality of what kids are going through. So we did a lot of conversation and training around what was happening in schools these days. So particularly for the cast, they could take that into the roles, and for the crew, they could also understand why this show matters and what it's going to mean to the audience who watch it.
And what that meant is that we had brilliant sounding board in Stonewall, reading scripts, talking to crew, talking to cast, making sure that we'd all been trained in the appropriate language, the appropriate way to cultivate a safe space that has LGBT mindedness at its forefront.
It's so nice to see that the cast have all become such good friends. You don't know if that's going to happen. They might all hate each other. But in this case, they've just really bonded, like, immediately. They all get along so well. And it just makes a really positive, lovely atmosphere on set where everyone's having a good time and everyone's supporting each other, because it's a big thing to be cast in a Netflix show.
It's incredibly important for us as LGBTQ+ people to have our stories represented on screen. TV and film is the art form of our age.
It gives people like me a chance to see ourselves reflected and our younger selves reflected, and that was something that I was robbed of when I was growing up. I didn't get to see, you know, two boys in school having a fun, nice time and showing that that was a possibility. And if you can't see that when you're growing up, you don't think you can have it. And that the damage and trauma that that can do is a lot. So I think the hope that this show will give to lots of young LGBT kids is hugely important, and Netflix is going to make sure that that's seen so widely.
That's it, complete. That is a picture wrap. Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you, you've been amazing. Hello, I'm Alice Oseman. I'm the writer and creator of Heartstopper.
Slate 1000, take one.
The show is a little bit different to the comic, and I like to think of it in that the TV show is an expanded version of the comic. The core story of Heartstopper is very much in the show. We haven't changed what is in the comic. We've just made the story bigger. We've made the world wider. Beyond Nick and Charlie's story, we learn a lot more about Tao and Elle and Tara and Darcy, and there are also new characters as well. The thing that I've learned about adaptations is that something that works for one format like a comic might not work for a TV show. So when developing Heartstopper's TV show, we had to look at it from a TV perspective and think, how do we take this story and make it work on screen? And that's been part of the fun of it for me, just expanding the story to make it a really cool TV show. Seeing the characters for the first time was so surreal. It was probably during rehearsals when we first saw them all together in like the Heartstopper gang, and it was just very weird. You know, they're all amazing and it's just been wonderful. We're there if they have any problems or anything, you know, that they want to talk about, just anything to do with the show. I mean, they're all so talented. They just are the characters. We're just there to support them and see them thrive. So my day-to-day experience on set, because I've been here every day, basically me and Patrick, one of the executive producers, we watch all the scenes, we talk to Eros, the director, we sort of share ideas about how things should be filmed, and we're also in consultation with all the different departments, like costume and art department and props. And I kind of feel like it's my role to represent the comic and the readers, and I think that we have achieved that. So I've never been on a TV set before. I honestly didn't know anything about TV making before this, and I've just learned so much about what everyone on set does, all the different roles that there are, and it really is a team effort, which is, you know, I'm a writer, I'm used to working by myself, but this has, you know, really highlighted what you can do when there are so many different talented people involved. I want Heartstopper to inspire young people, especially young LGBTQ+ people, to be whoever they want to be and to believe that they can find happiness and find love and find friendship. Because it is a joyful story, everyone can get something out of it, so...